folks, we're about to get started, and I note that mid-row there are empty seats, and we have a lot of folks standing in the back. So if you have a mid-row empty seat, if you could pop your hand up so folks can find that seat, that would be great.
Good morning. Little rain, a lot of cold, and it's still a glorious day. I'm Philip Lloyd, chairman of the board of Perkiomen School. I was sitting in your chairs 61 years ago. So Sebastian, I am looking back 61 years as you suggested, and I can tell you I see that my parents were wise in sending me to Perkiomen many years ago, because the foundation here has made the difference in my life. It will make it for you. While you're standing, please join me in reflection. Today, the class of 2026 has gathered for the last time as students and soon will be alumni. Guarantee it. They have learned many lessons in and out of the classroom, on and off of the stage, and also on the athletic fields. They have worked diligently to excel in the classroom, complete their institution capstones, and grind through AP exams. They are ready to step boldly into the collegiate journey. This day has been a long time coming, and the pageantry and ceremony of today are meant to highlight this group's many accomplishments. Loving God, we thank you for the opportunities you have presented to us here at Perkiomen and for your many blessings on this extraordinary community. Be with this class as we enjoy this hard-earned day and continue to be guiding presence for the class of 2026. Amen.
Please be seated. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the commencement exercises for the class of 2026. Go ahead and clap. I want to begin by expressing our gratitude to our loyal, hardworking faculty, and to the family members who supported this crew of seniors who have provided this life-changing experience. You guys, big round of applause for your families. I want to begin by commenting on baccalaureate last night. This was a particularly moving event. It takes courage to get up in front of your peers and your families to perform poetry, dance, singing. Our seniors stepped up, and it brought out their school spirit and also demonstrated the leadership skills that so many of these students have developed. The speeches were moving and exemplified Perkiomen's emphasis on camaraderie, commitment, growth, and being your own person. Congratulations to all the speakers and performers from last night. As we reflect on this past year, one theme rises above the rest: change. Our campus evolved, new spaces opened, and with them came a sense of uncertainty. Change often asks something of us. It stretches our imagination and at times tests our comfort. Think back to the opening of the Student Center. Before it became the vibrant hub it is today, it existed mostly in a set of questions. What would it feel like? How would it function? Would it live up to our expectations or fall short of what we knew before? How would the Stauffer e-gaming space work? Would the food in Lloyd's be memorable? Would there be enough room for everyone? And yet, here you are. The spaces are full, the energy unmistakable. You made them your own. You learned when to collaborate and when to unwind, how to balance work with connection, and how to shape a new environment into a meaningful part of your daily lives. What once felt uncertain became something better than imagined. And the cookies do taste the same as they did at Robbie's. and Lloyd's food was definitely better than any of us expected. That experience offers a lesson worth carrying forward. Commencement, by definition, is a beginning, and every beginning brings change. The question is not whether change will come, but how you will meet it. My hope is that you meet it with curiosity rather than hesitation, with openness rather than doubt. Lean into what is new. Seek it out. Class of 2026, you carry with you a combination of energy, resilience, and determination. The world you're stepping into is complex, and at times it will feel overwhelming. In those moments, remember your capacity to create possibility, to shape change rather than be defined by it. I'll leave you with the words of Harriet Tubman. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. As you journey from Perkiomen to what comes next, I challenge you to embrace our motto, Solvitur Vivendo, it is solved by living. Go forward and solve problems not only with your mind, but with your lives through action, courage, and purpose. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Good morning. We will start with a few awards. The Phi Beta Kappa Award is presented by the Phi Beta Kappa Association of Philadelphia and is presented to the student in the graduating class who excels in academics and who possesses inherent character and integrity. It is given not only in recognition of those qualities, but also an incentive to good scholarship and a higher level of education. The award is presented to Julie Feliciano. The Frank S. Reardon Award is presented to that member of the class who, in the opinion of the members of the class, has contributed most to the school, both in the classroom and in extracurricular activities. The award was established by Frank S. Reardon, class of 1909, as being continued in his memory by his family. The award is presented to Sophia Sudia. The Herbert W. Gruber Americanism Award recognizes a student who exemplifies and inspires another an appreciation of our American democratic traditions. The award is presented to Rufus Ville. The Barbara Hostage Baker Music Award honors a member of the class for their full participation in the music department for several years, showing an enthusiasm, love of music, and a willingness to give both time and talent. The award is presented to Ria Ramahan.
Hello, good morning. All right. So those of you who are in my AP Bio class know me as Ms. Glinsky, and you should also know what a chi-square analysis test is. For those of you who haven't been in my AP Bio class or who conveniently forgotten, okay, it's a statistical method used to compare observed data with expectations. In other words, does data behave the way we predicted, or is it something more? Because true significance isn't a fluke. It is not hitting the mark once. It's not even hitting it twice. It's hitting the mark over and over and over again, with consistency, with precision, with undeniable certainty, until what once seemed ordinary becomes extraordinary, until the expectation can no longer be explained what we are seeing. It is significant. Over the past few years, I've made the observations. I've calculated the expectations. By every measure of that analysis, Hugh Relim is significant. Throughout her time here at Perkiomen, Hugh has pushed herself in ways that go far beyond the expectations of a transcript. I take a seat at a school musical, and there she would be with the courage to be a front stage actor. There I am trying to introduce new students to the dorm, and she immediately hops in with open and welcoming arms. Then, I sit down to write her advisor comments and realize that she has earned straight A's while taking 5 AP classes. 5, okay? Something that I didn't even think was possible. At some point, it stops becoming surprising what she can do and starts becoming remarkable how consistently she does it. She undeniably is hitting that mark over and over and over again. Each time she passes an expectation, that accomplishment just becomes her next benchmark. Then she continues to hit success over and over and over again. And so, if we return to our hypothesis test, I've calculated the results. She does not support the null hypothesis, the expectations. She rejects it entirely. She is the outlier. She is the exceptional exception. She is the 1% that stands apart from the other 99, and she elevates what we all think is possible. Today, as we celebrate the achievements of the entire class of 2026, we have the privilege of hearing from someone who embodies the spirit of excellence in its fullest form, who breaks the theoretical and sets new expectations. She truly is the definition of significant. Please join me in welcoming our salutatorian, Hugh Relim.
Really nervous up here. Thank you, Ms. Klinsky, for the speech. I'll really miss your advisory and the veggie tales you showed us. First of all, it is such an honor to stand here today and speak on behalf of Class of 2026. Thank you to everyone who came here today, even the people who literally flew across the world to be here. Literally, thank you. I want to start with something a little personal. As a 5'1", petite, Asian girl, living away from home, it always felt like I had something to prove. I wanted to show my parents back in Vietnam that I was doing well. So I worked so hard, spending countless of nights at school, at art, at basically everything, even at sports. But here's the thing, and honestly, this is probably a little hypocritical coming from me. But after finally getting all the titles and achievements I thought I wanted, the things that look so impressive to other people, I realized there really wasn't much left inside afterward. But why am I telling all of these when you guys are not even 5'1" Asians? Because I think a lot of us are going to keep doing the same thing in different forms. Some of us are moving to different states. Some of us are staying close to home. But all of us are about to enter completely new environments with new people, new expectations, and honestly, new insecurities. And in that process, it becomes really easy to start chasing reputations instead of real life. At some point, I realized it didn't really matter how impressive my life looked on the outside if I wasn't actually happy on the inside. So please try to live happily. There will probably be times when you have to fight against other people's expectations. Times when what you want for yourself doesn't match what everyone else wants from you. But this is your life. You're allowed to make your own choices. You're allowed to disappoint people sometimes. You're even allowed to look stupid once in a while. Just don't spend your whole life trying to become someone else's idea of successful. Because at the end of the day, the person who has to live your life is you. So, class of 2026, I hope wherever we go next, we don't just become successful people. I hope we become happy ones too. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2026.
The Arlen Marks Class of 1968 Global Excellence Award. As an independent school with a global reach, Perkiomen School is committed to fostering diversity and inclusion among our students. The commitment is integral to our culture and reflects Perkiomen's values of doing what's right, respecting others, and performing with excellence. It is only by actively engaging different perspectives that we can challenge and stretch our thinking, enrich our experiences of our students, and empower each of us and our lives beyond Perkiomen. The late Arlen Marks, class of 1968, as a student, alumnus, trustee of Perkiomen, and throughout his career, an educator, prioritized diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is fitting in his memory to recognize a member of the class who has strengthened our community daily by living these values, encouraging others to embrace them, and providing steady leadership to shine a light on them. This year, the Arlen Marks Class of 1968 Global Diversity and Excellence Award is presented to Jane Mannion. The Mary Jane Royal Award. Mary Jane Royal taught at Perkiomen School from 1976 to 2004 and served as the Fine Arts Department Chair for almost all of that time. Mary Jane was a part of the mortar that helped join this school into a community and a family. She spent 4 decades serving students and making music with them. Her gentleness, creative ability, and sage advice were the bedrock of Perkiomen's Fine Arts Department. To honor Mary Jane, we give this award to a member of the class whose time at Perkiomen has been spent in that spirit, and ideally to a student who has participated in the Fine Arts program. The award is presented to Bao Gwyn. The Wayne Engel Award is dedicated to the service of Wayne Engel, whose career spanned 40 years from 1959 to 1999. Mr. Engel served as Mathematics Department Chairman, mentor, coach, and perhaps one of the finest teachers to ever grace Perkiomen School's classrooms. This award is offered to a member of the class who represents the qualities that Wayne Engel demonstrated throughout his career: academic excellence and character, loyalty to the school, and above all, the ability to endure every day of one's life with grace and integrity. It is chosen from the class members who have attained a high level of scholastic standing and who have earned a major school letter as a player on a varsity team. It is given this year to Mikolas Skiva.
Good morning. Mr. Lloyd, Mr. Devi, the Perkiomen family and friends, and the incredible class of 2026. For those who don't know me, I'm John Williams, and it's my honor to introduce you to today's commencement speaker, Bruce Brittingham. You can clap it up. So I first met Bruce 17 years ago on this very campus. Even then, he carried a presence about him. You kids today call it aura. It was a confidence that filled hallways, dorms, and the fields like the ones many of you walk and play on today. So you can read the bio, right? A kid from Trenton, New Jersey, one of the toughest cities in America, arrives at a small independent boarding school here in Pennsburg, Pennsylvania. He then became an all-state standout in football and basketball. That same kid then went on to earn a full Division I scholarship to Wagner College, excelling in both of those sports. All while earning his degree in business finance, he then and now is building a career as a licensed financial advisor, managing millions in assets. In many ways, his story reflects the same journeys so many of you students are on sitting here today. That transition from Trenton, New Jersey to Pennsburg, Pennsylvania isn't much different from the experience of the students who arrived here from 38 plus different countries in 18 plus different states, all stepping onto Seminary Street for the very first time. So I had the privilege of watching a then guarded 16-year-old learn how to trust, work diligently, and persevere through all those early awkward situations on a boarding school like many of you. Boarding school isn't easy for anybody, whether it be the different cultures, the different backgrounds blending, and the different perspectives that can make that adjustment challenging. But like all of you, Bruce learned how to navigate those differences and grow through them. So the pride I have in introducing one of my favorite teammates of all time is indescribable. It's a true reminder that opportunity is awarded to those resilient enough to achieve it. So with all that being said, please join me in welcoming not only a loving son, father, husband, but a graduate of Perkiomen School's class of 2012, Bruce Brittingham. Wow. Need some space here. Yeah, can you actually take that? Wow, wow, wow. So thank you, John. First, I'd like to thank God for this opportunity. I want to thank the faculty, the administration, family, friends, honored guests, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2026. I promise I was shaking the entire time over there, not because I'm nervous, but because it's freezing cold out here. I guess that's what we'll go with today. Standing here is truly an honor. It's a full circle moment for me. About 14 years ago, I sat exactly where you're sitting right now, as a senior at Perkiomen School, class of 2012. Anxious, yet excited, and I'm sorry I'm hunching over a little bit, this mic is a little low. Anxious, yet excited to have reached this milestone and ready to brave the world. I had quite the journey during my time here at Perk and ultimately excelled both academically as well as athletically. At the time of graduation, I held a 3.7 GPA, and as John stated, I feel like he read my speech before I got here, but as John stated, I was a 3-time MVP on the basketball team, 2-time MVP on the football team, a 2-time All-State football player, and an All-State basketball player. Collectively, these accolades
Thank you. Collectively, these accolades propelled me into a Division I full scholarship. I then began my collegiate career at Wagner College, where I earned a bachelor's degree in business finance and a concentration in finance, class of 2016. Concurrently, while a student athlete at Wagner, I became a two-time Northeast Conference football champion, an NEC basketball champion, and I had an appearance in an NIT tournament as well. I would again say that I did pretty well academically and athletically there as well. Moreover, I left college as a young man who gained some life experience, but still I knew I didn't have it all figured out. Now let's fast forward to today. I'm a husband to my high school sweetheart, Kyra Brittingham, who's sitting somewhere over there. I'm a father to two beautiful girls, Callie and Khalees, who's also sitting over there. I'm a basketball coach. I'm a mentor to the youth in the city. And professionally, I'm a financial advisor at a Fortune 500 company, spearheading my wealth management business. I've also redeveloped homes in the same city that I was raised in. You may be wondering, why is he spewing all these accolades at us right now, right? Well, that was simply just to get the boring part out of the way. But seriously though, although I take great pride in everything I've achieved thus far, none of those accomplishments tell the full story. Because to appreciate the accolades, you must understand the journey. You first have to understand where it started. I am from Trenton, New Jersey, and I am proud of where I come from. There are a lot of intelligent, talented, and motivated individuals in my city. Not only are we the capital of New Jersey, we are rich in history, as they say. Trenton makes, the world takes. However, depending on who you ask, people may describe Trenton in a negative light. You will most likely hear words such as low income, poverty-stricken, gang violence, drugs, and hopelessness. Unfortunately, that is a reality that many face in my city. Now, I want you guys to sit back and imagine. What if I told you I lost 12 friends, to gang violence by the age of 25. Excuse me, sorry. What if I told you at least 26 of my peers from my neighborhood were incarcerated by the age of 25? Excuse me, just give me a moment. Yes, these are friends that I've walked to school with, had class with, been in my home, and played sports with. What if I told you my mother was affected by the drug epidemic in the 80s and the 90s? Yes, these are all facts. And according to the statistics, This is what's supposed to happen in my city. Now imagine growing up in this environment, seeing violence, drug abuse, broken families all around you. Unfortunately, this was normal where I come from. All right, I'm going to get it together now. That was the tough part. Unfortunately, this was normal where I come from. Should be easy for me to follow suit, right? But in the midst of it all, I knew I had something special. Now, what I'd like for each and every one of you to do is sit back and just imagine a few things, just a few more things here. And excuse me for the sniffles. Just imagine watching someone wake up at 5 a.m. every day to get 3 kids ready for school. Clothes out and iron, making breakfast, not only for his 3 kids, but for 4 or 5 other kids in the neighborhood. That would also stop by every morning before school to grab a bite to eat and to ensure that these kids got to school safely. Not knowing that that breakfast and that ride to school meant more to them than you could ever imagine. Imagine the same person then putting on a suit and tie every day to go to work as a real estate agent, working unpredictable hours to provide for their family. Imagine the same person attending all sporting events, academic award ceremonies, parent-teacher conferences for those same 3 kids, then coming home, checking homework, cooking meals every night, only to wake up and repeat this. This person, this single parent, this man, that's my father, Bruce Brittingham. Now, some of you may think, well, what's the significance of that, right? My father was raising us on love and how to show up for others, regardless of your circumstances. He was the first person to teach me commitment. He was committed to showing up for people, for me and my friends, on a daily. He also taught me perseverance, adaptability, confidence, and how to overcome adversity without complaining. He set high standards in our household and emphasized them that there are no limits regardless of where you come from. He instilled morals, principles, character, respect, work ethic, and a sense of pride within my siblings and I. This was our foundation, and we all live by this today. It's no coincidence that we're the only household in the neighborhood at that time to produce 3 college graduates who all became very successful in our own respective careers. I started playing organized basketball around the 5th grade. I wasn't the best, but I know I was the hardest worker and the hardest working player on every team. As I got older, I became one of the top 2-sport athletes, not just in Trenton, but in the state of New Jersey. I later attended Trenton Central High School, a place known for decades for producing elite athletic talent. But unfortunately, many of those stories did not end the way they were supposed to, whether that was due to incarceration, missed opportunities, or death. But I had bigger expectations for my life. Through my success and relationships that I've built through sports, an opportunity was presented to me and brought to my attention that I was on a radar of this very prestigious private school in Pennsylvania. A school at the time I knew nothing about. But soon discovered there was a kid by the name of Abdul Smith, also from Trenton, who was excelling academically and athletically, receiving a ton of Division I scholarships. Once I heard that, my mindset instantly changed from curiosity to sign me up right now. I'll figure out everything else later. That opportunity led me to become one of the first people in my close circle of friends that was willing to take a leap of faith, willing to leave home, willing to walk into an unfamiliar environment in pursuit of something greater. And I still remember that exact moment I stepped on the Perkiomen's campus. That strong smell of Hershey chocolate brewing in the morning. I know you guys all know that smell. And suddenly a rush of adrenaline as it flew through my body. That was part fear. That was part excitement. That was part uncertainty. And that was part confidence. Because deep down I knew there were going to be challenges ahead, culturally, academically, mentally, emotionally, and socially. But at that exact moment, I also knew that I was ready. Perkiomen was a culture shock for me, I must admit. I just left the public school where there was no expectation for dress code, no sense of community, and no structured routine whatsoever. To now be expected to wear a blazer, shirt and tie twice a week, I must admit, again, that was my father's style, not mine. Eating what was called family-style dinners with your teachers and classmates on Thursdays, I believe it was Thursdays, while discussing topics at the time that I really didn't care for, but had to entertain it at the time, right? When at home, when it was time for dinner, all I'd do is grab a plate, fix my food, kick my feet up in the living room, and watch some basketball. Not to mention the increased academic workload, mandatory study hall 5 days a week. I remember staying after class for extra help in tutoring sessions because I wasn't used to just breezing through chapters on a daily faster than I could say my first name. A pre-planned daily routine where almost every hour of my day was structured or accounted for. And lastly, being one of maybe 10 African American students in the entire school that held more students from different countries than students from the States at the time. Everything about that environment forced me to adapt. And I remember this just like it was yesterday. I was sitting in Mr. Manfredini's room, who was my academic advisor at the time, discussing classes for junior year. And somehow, this economics course came about. I thought it was pretty interesting. There was only one other subject at that time that I thought was interesting. It was forensics. We had an opportunity to scavenger the campus and solve made-up crimes. I thought that was pretty cool. But I really wanted to do economics. However, However, economics also sparked my interest, like I said. But everybody, including the high achievers, kept telling me the same thing. That class is impossible. No one ever gets an A. Mr. Doherty is the toughest teacher in the school. You're going to hate it. And so what did I do? I avoided that class for 2 years. I made excuses every time I saw him, and sometimes if I seen him before he seen me, I'd just go the other way. He still messes with me about that to this day. I convinced myself it was too difficult before I ever challenged myself or gave myself a chance. Now, ironically enough, as I mentioned before, today I run a wealth management business where a huge part of my job revolves around understanding economics, analyzing companies and studying the markets. And so that is one of my biggest regrets. That experience taught me an important lesson, that sometimes the very thing that you are avoiding becomes the very thing that ultimately prepares you for your purpose. I also remember struggling through long reading assignments in Mr. Longstreth's class. We called him Stretch. Not because I couldn't read. It was simply because our homework was reading 4 or 5 chapters a night about books again at the time I had no interest in. Then showing up the next day and being quizzed on the reading. And most of the time, he always asked me specifically questions about things that actually never happened in the book. And I must admit, right, he was spot on. I realized the reason why he did that was because he knew I either didn't read or I skimmed through the reading. At that time, I got used to it, and I got used to this phrase, and it still haunts me to this day. After not knowing the answer to one of his made-up questions, he would lean back, he would laugh, and he'd say, 0. And as embarrassing as it was, I understood what he was doing. And it just lives with me today. Sorry. Meanwhile, I was trying to balance sports, homework, social life, and still somehow find time on Skype at the time. I don't know if y'all know what Skype is. Or I would borrow a friend's cell phone to talk to my girlfriend, who's now my wife. That's what I was trying to do at that time when I was supposed to be reading, unfortunately. I mean, she was my backbone and one of the biggest supporters. She played a huge role in keeping me focused and holding me accountable while I was here. And so those long nights on the phone, it was needed for what I was going through, what I was experiencing at that time. But looking back now, those moments mattered because life eventually teaches you that those small details matter. Preparation matters. Discipline matters. Time management matters. And again, although I didn't like being embarrassed and hearing that giggle in the morning, I knew exactly what he was teaching me. He wanted me to be sure that I was prepared and that I knew how to manage my time and that I focused on the small details. Without those experiences, I'm not sure how I would be able to run my business during the day, coach basketball in the evenings, and then attend my daughter's swim lessons and extracurriculars, ensure the family is fed, and then prepare for late night client reviews, starting at 11, going to 2 and 3 in the morning sometimes. I realized that sometimes the lessons you appreciate the least while living through them becomes the lessons you value later in life. During this same time frame, I also had the opportunity to play AAU basketball for a coach who owned a very successful business that I was completely unaware of. He started coaching me around the age of 16. He had a son who was my teammate, a big 7-foot kid. He didn't have many close friends at that time. But me being me, I befriended him without thinking twice about it. I built a genuine friendship with him. We became extremely close. I would stay the night over his house, sometimes for days, sometimes for weeks, just hanging out. That same coach made sure that he was present at my high school graduation, my college graduation, and most recently, my wedding. Years later, that same coach told me something I never realized was actually happening. He was paying attention. He said he watched me over the years and how I interacted with his son as well as his family, and that he was very appreciative of how authentic and how genuine I was with his son. Not because I wanted or expected anything in return, but just simply because that's just who I am. That relationship eventually led me to getting my first summer job with my coach while still in high school. And years later, as an adult, that relationship led to opportunities for my coach and I to partner on some of my first real estate deals, which helped me hit the ground running. And that taught me another lesson, that being true to yourself, being authentic, having good character, how you treat people matters. And it doesn't cost to be a good person. And I promise I'm almost done. They said 5 minutes, probably going a little over, but there's a few things I definitely wanted to touch on, so bear with me, please. And that chapter officially closed. Reality hit. I'm sorry. Yep. That was another defining moment in my life. A moment where I had to dig deep again. A moment filled with disappointment, embarrassment, confusion, a sense of failure. And some people may wonder why. Because from the outside looking in, people only see the highlights. They only see accomplishments. They only see trophies and social media posts. They do not see the mental fatigue, the sacrifices, the setbacks, the moments where life doesn't go according to plan. You know what? I am so sorry. I skipped the page. So regarding football, I've been a standout running back my entire life up until that point, and that was my identity. Although I excelled at several sports, my dream was to play in the NFL. But during my senior year of high school, I found that I was not eligible for a scholarship because of a clearinghouse guideline due to a discrepancy with transferring course from my public school. Although I had many colleges interested, names like Temple, UConn, Boston College, and UMass, I lost majority of those scholarships, and it was too late for me to resolve the issue. However, I was successfully recruited and committed to Wagner College. When I got to Wagner, they had a high-profile running back already, and instantly my position changed. That definitely caught me off guard. I got injured my first year, returned as a redshirt freshman, and right before I was expected to start as a redshirt freshman, I tore my meniscus, and that was supposed to be a game, my first start against Syracuse University. The moment I had dreamed about my entire life. Opportunities changed, coaches changed, and suddenly everything I worked for my entire life felt uncertain. I was devastated. There was no way I could let it end that way. When a new coach arrived, he let all the fifth-year seniors go and left us scrambling looking for schools at the last minute. I ended up at Minnesota State, where I was promised a full scholarship and so many other things, but upon arrival, I found out that my dorm room wasn't paid for. And at that moment, it was another hurdle I had to overcome, another obstacle in my way. I didn't have the money to pay for it, so for the 6 months that I was out there, I remember sleeping in the basement of my teammate's house, in a closet, in an air mattress. Just for another opportunity to pursue my dream. At this point in my life, I lived and breathed sports. but also value my academics. Because somewhere deep down, I understood there would eventually be life beyond sports. So I studied business, finance, and today I carry that degree with pride because education became the foundation for my next chapter. After college, I spent time training for professional opportunities in the NFL. And when that chapter officially closed, reality hit hard. That was another defining moment in my life. A moment where I had to dig deep again, a moment filled with disappointment, embarrassment, depression, confusion, and a sense of failure. A moment where I had to dig deep. And some people may wonder why. Because from the outside looking in, people only see the highlights, they only see the accomplishments. They only see the trophies and social media posts. They do not see the mental fatigue, the sacrifices, the setbacks, the moments where life doesn't go according to plan. And after all of that, I ended up right back in the same neighborhood, the same apartment, the same environment I grew up in. The only difference was this time around, I was holding a college degree. I had been battle tested, a champion with confidence and determination that I can overcome anything. And at that point, I could have allowed my circumstances to define me. But instead, after spending a few months in my emotions, I attacked the next chapter of my life the same way I approached everything else, with discipline, work ethic, faith, and resilience. I entered the financial services industry after reading and studying for my licenses. I had the opportunity to work alongside some of the top financial advisors in the country. I learned a lot. I stayed disciplined, and eventually I built my own career as an advisor. The stories that I share with you guys today all played a huge part in the person I am today. Not because my story is perfect, not because every plan worked out exactly how I imagined, but because life is going to test each and every one of you in this room. You will experience setbacks. You will experience disappointment. You will question yourself. You will face adversity. But your ability to adapt will determine your future more than your circumstances ever will. Perkiomen taught me how to adapt. My father taught me determination and perseverance. Sports taught me discipline. My mother taught me resilience. My two sisters, Turquoise and Shaniqua, who's also here today, taught me that college and graduate school are attainable and there is life beyond Trenton. My wife, Kyra, taught me the power of unwavering support and accountability. And life taught me that work ethic can change almost any circumstance. Understand that your book is still being written. The cover is only the surface of the chapters that are to follow. Each chapter will pose wins and losses, but you can never judge a book by its cover. So to the class of 2026, understand this. You do not need to have all the answers today. You do not need a perfect plan. Don't be afraid of failure. Just continue showing up for yourself, even when life becomes uncomfortable. Because success is rarely uninterrupted straight path. Sometimes the greatest thing that can happen to you is having your original plan fall apart. Because it forces you to discover who you truly are. So to the class of 2026, your story is just beginning. Thank you.
Historically, Perkiomen School recognized a postgraduate or one-year senior whose outstanding contributions enriched the school community. As postgraduate enrollment declined over time, the award was discontinued and ultimately archived. In recent years, however, our postgraduate enrollment has experienced renewed growth, making it both timely and appropriate to reestablish this tradition of recognition. Thus, our new award, the Virtuous Un Anno Award, translated from Latin to excellence, virtue, courage, and character. This award is presented to a member of the graduating class who has attended Perkiomen School for a single year, and during that time has made a meaningful and lasting contribution to the community through excellence both inside and outside the classroom. The award is presented to Vladika Vukic. The Norman Rockwell Bate Award is provided by the Bate family in memory of the late Captain Norman A. Bate, U.S. Air Force class of 1961. This award is presented annually to that member of the class who has demonstrated significant qualities of determination, compassionate concern for others, and personal integrity, and who has further sought conscientiously to avail themselves fully of the opportunities provided to him by the school. This year, the award is presented to Andrew Taylor. The University of Pennsylvania Award for School Citizenship and Loyalty is presented to the school by the Lehigh Valley Association of the Alumni of University of Pennsylvania. The faculty chooses a member of the class who is outstanding among her classmates in school citizenship and loyalty as expressed by her activities, attitudes, interests during the year. The award is presented to Sarah Beth Hughes.
Hi, my name is Michelle Squitieri, and for the past 4 years, I've had the honor and privilege of being Mia's advisor. I am excited to introduce her today as the class of 2026 Valedictorian. I am not the least bit surprised to be here today. Mia came into my classroom 4 years ago and said this would happen. And in full transparency, I was a bit flabbergasted. Not because I didn't believe Mia. Quite clearly, she knows what she's talking about. But witnessing the drive and tenacity of such a young person was awe-inspiring, especially in academia as a high school freshman. Mia kept her promise for the next 4 years and embraced every opportunity, defining and redefining what it meant to be a Renaissance woman. She would take AP everything, sing in the choir, lead in the musical, slide across the hack to get a volleyball, and hit a softball across the field. Our conversations were less about whether she could do something and more about how important it was to be a kid and focus on balance. I am so very proud of what Mia has accomplished during her time at Perkiomen. Sure, I think it's cool that she's valedictorian, like her beloved main character in Gilmore Girls. However, even more so than this title, I am proud of Mia for becoming a Renaissance woman who is not afraid to wear her heart on her sleeve, who is a loyal friend, teammate, a great advisee, and someone who truly cares deeply about her community and impact. Mia has taught me a lot in the last 4 years, and I'm a better teacher because of it. Brown University better get ready, because Miss Mia Frizzle, my favorite Renaissance lady, is coming, and she will change the corner of her world.
Sorry, 1 second. Thank you, Ms. Quatiri, for the introduction. Good morning, faculty, families, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2026. It is an honor to stand here today representing my incredible peers. I did pre-write Mr. Watkins, so I promise this speech will be concise, as I doubt any of us want to sit in this cold much longer. First, I want to thank everyone who donated to the financial aid program. Without financial assistance, I wouldn't have been able to come here. I wouldn't be standing in front of you, attending my dream school, have met my best friends, or experienced all of the opportunities I've been lucky to have at Perk. I am forever grateful. This week, I had almost 30 people ask me if I'd written my speech yet. Of course, I had not. True to my time here, I procrastinated. I had no idea what I wanted to impart on my peers. What could possibly feel meaningful enough for this occasion? Do I have anything worth saying? Part of the reason I struggled to write the speech is because graduating forces you to confront what comes next. The last person to ask me if I'd written my speech was Mr. Doherty. I admitted to him my fears. High school is comfortable. And I don't mean the classes were easy. They were not. In fact, I believe Miss Seeger has collected many of our tears in her little mug. More accurately, life here is cushioned. So much of our life has been structured for us. Every day we sit at the same tables with our friends, go to the same conference spots, or eat the same pasta at the dining hall. Will I be able to build a new routine all over again in college? Will we ever even know what the next day brings? But then Mr. Doherty reminded me about my first week at Perkiomen. We were all terrified, and it was one of the worst moments of my life. On the first day, I didn't know anyone, and somehow everyone was already friends. The next day, I became fast friends with a girl in my grade. I specifically remember this feeling of relief, as it has become one of my best days. While reminiscing over these experiences, Mr. Doherty asked me, after that first week, "Were you okay?" in that Mr. Doherty tone. The answer seemed obvious once he asked. We all were, and we all will be. Over the past 4 years, this place has prepared us for what comes next. Mr. Longstreth taught us how to fly. Mr. Peterson taught us how to write papers until you're breaking down at 1 a.m. Ms. Seeger taught us calculus and a work ethic. But most importantly than any class, deadline, or exam, Perk has taught us about community. We have learned how to rally behind each other and not let anyone struggle alone. Whether it's Sebastian Sanchez cheering the loudest at every game, your advisor constantly reminding you to submit missing work, or a friend bringing you a cookie from Lloyd's after a difficult day. These are the memories we will keep from years from now, and we will let go of our moments of fear. As we graduate, it feels like everyone around us seems to have a plan, while some of us hide that we are utterly terrified that we lack one. I once heard the most interesting people didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds still don't. Uncertainty will never disappear from our lives. As chapters shift into the next, life will bring us unexpected hardships and joys. Yet, this uncertainty brought us here to this moment. And I think we all will be okay. It's been my privilege. Thank you.
The S. Ridgway Goodwin Class of 1960 Salvatore Vivendo Award is given in recognition to those members of the class in recognition of their dedication to the motto and the founding principles of Perkiomen School. The motto Solvitur Vivendo literally means it is solved by living. Recipients of the award demonstrate to the community their personal growth, resolve, excellence, problem-solving skills. Faculty members nominate students, and winners are chosen by a small committee selected by the head of school. The S. Ridgway Goodwin Class of 1960 Solvitur Vivendo Award is reserved for students who truly embody the principles of the school's founders. This year, the awards are presented to Eva Hotea and Sebastian Sanchez. The Head of School Cup is awarded to a member of the graduating class who has demonstrated through effort and involvement an appreciation for the opportunities Perkiomen School provides, and who, because of that attitude, represents all of the graduates who have gained something special from the Perkiomen experience. The award is presented to Zach Chevalier.
All right. So to introduce our second co-valedictorian, Sarah Beth Hughes, I'm going to tell kind of a story that needs some context, so it might not make sense why I'm telling the story till I get to the end of it. So you'll see. As many of you know, I'm a big baseball fan, and being from Cleveland, I've followed the Cleveland Guardians for my whole life. And a large part of that experience has been watching the New York Yankees beat the Guardians in the playoffs pretty consistently. So I'm not really much of a New York Yankees fan. So with that context, I want to tell you about Thursday, March 30th, 2023. So Thursday afternoons, as you all probably still remember, are advisory meeting days. And that Thursday, in Sarah's freshman year, was baseball's opening day. And that year, the schedule had the Yankees playing a game at 1 p.m., the first game of that new season. And that's during advisory time. So I knew Sarah a fair bit at that point. I knew she was a Yankees fan, and I had a pretty good impression of her from the first parts of the year where I'd gotten to know her. And so I decided to put the Yankees game on to watch as part of a fun activity for advisory, for some variety. And beyond just watching the game, despite my feelings about the Yankees, I was ready and willing to root for them in that game. There are maybe 4 people in the world who I'd be willing to support or even maybe tolerate the Yankees for, and the others are all family members. So sorry, Mr. Mangan, you're not on that list yet. So I share that story because when I was thinking about how to introduce Sarah Beth, the idea that came to mind was appreciation or maybe respect. I appreciate Sarah and the way she approaches her education so much that I wanted to do something nice for her. And she was definitely happy to see Aaron Judge hit a home run in that game. And that's the feeling that she inspires in others around her, in my experience. Over the 4 years I've known her, she's excelled academically, and so she's certainly earned respect for the results. That's why she's speaking after me. But that's not what makes her exceptional. It's how she carries herself daily so that she could become someone I respect as a person. The process she follows to get those results and what you see from her every day. Sarah Beth has overcome challenges with dignity, sought out ways to make Perkiomen a better place, pushed herself athletically and academically, and throughout all of that, she's found time to encourage underclassmen to do the same in their lives. Another quote, this one's a bit more paraphrased, that I like from my baseball experiences that applies to her is, it's easy to manage a team when the best player on the team does things the right way. That's the Cleveland Guardians radio announcer describing Jose Ramirez, who's been the star of the team for the past 10 or so years. Sarah makes my job easier and better every day because she always does things the right way academically. And so many of the positive views and experiences she has of me as a teacher are truly a credit to her approach more than anything I actually do. I expect if she follows the same path at Dartmouth, she'll be taking my job here teaching physics, and she'll be so much better at it than I ever could be. Please welcome the valedictorian of the class of 2026, Sarah Beth Hughes.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Roig. I'm honored to stand here today in front of a class of hard workers, incredible athletes, talented artists and musicians, and familiar faces. Throughout our time at Perkiomen, this is the community that has challenged us, supported us, and shaped us into the students and people we are today. There's a quote on my front door that I see every day when I leave for school. It's by Jane Goodall, and it reads, "You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make." What you do makes a difference to your friends and family, to your teachers and classmates, to the strangers you see on the street. You are powerful. Even small interactions can make a big impact. A kind word, a small gesture, or simply making someone feel noticed can stay with them far longer than we realize. Looking back on my time at Perkiomen, I may not remember every quiz grade or paper, but I will remember Miss Debbie's smile and how special she made me feel when she remembered my sandwich order every day. I'll remember talking to Dr. Roig when I was having a tough day and him always having a story that seemed completely unrelated, but somehow gave the perfect advice. I'll remember stopping by Mr. Blackburn's room to grab cookies and milk during AP season, Mr. Garcia giving me a fist bump every Tuesday on my way to class, singing the alma mater as a community together at morning meetings, albeit sometimes begrudgingly, and every volleyball game where the boys' soccer team brought their A game, and I do mean every volleyball game. These people made a difference to me, just as I'm sure we've all experienced similar moments of kindness throughout our time at Perkiomen. That's the thing about community. Often, the moments that stay with us the most are the ones that seemed ordinary at the time. We may be the ones graduating today, but we were never walking alone. None of us would be here today without our support systems, whether it be our families encouraging us, our friends reminding us to have fun, or our teachers, coaches, and advisors helping us to chase our dreams every day. I think sometimes in our rush to get on with our lives, we forget to notice and appreciate the things that make life worthwhile in the first place. We are so often in a rush to finish the assignment, to get to our next class, to figure out what we're doing with our lives. And while ambition is important, sometimes we forget to slow down and simply be where we are, to truly notice the people sitting beside us, to appreciate the communities we're a part of, to understand that achievement means more when we have people to share it with. We've all had different journeys at Perkiomen, but I think we've all learned to work hard, show up for each other, risk becoming our best, and look both ways before crossing Seminary Street. As we go off into the world, let's remember to be present in our own lives. The future will come. Let's make sure to savor the present. Thank the people who've made sacrifices so that we could chase our dreams. We've heard it 1,000 times, but risk becoming our best. Not by being perfect, but by willing to try new things, care deeply about people, and continue growing into the kinds of people we want to become. Because becoming our best isn't about having everything figured out. It's about continuing to learn, care, and leave people and places better than we found them. And above all, let's remember to be kind to the people around us, because what we do matters. The way we treat people matters. The communities we build matter. Every day, we leave an impact on the world around us. And I hope that as we leave Perkiomen and step into whatever comes next, we choose to leave a good one.
And now we are ready to award the diplomas. Holy guacamole. We could all be Navy SEALs, I'm so cold. All right, I think we're ready. Manuel Oboya Bignon. Emile Joseph Alain. Elizabeth Grace Black. Graduating with entrepreneurial distinction, Daniel Bodeloff. Asher Micah Bradley. Spencer Bryce. Andrew Richard Bricker. Evan Harold Boots. Graduating with entrepreneurial distinction, Emily Alicia Carroll. Adam Tathero. Yido Chen. Yiming Chen. Zongyang Chen. Graduating with design distinction, Zachary Chevalier. Jackson Cisco Clough. Evan James Kaleo. Daniel Dumpere. Jiao Bao Deng. Santiago Daniel dos Santos Oloca. Peyton Elizabeth Dotson. Inigo Granda Alicius. Graduating with medical distinction, Julietta Lee Feliciano. Emile Jennifer Feliz. William McLean Finkel. Mia Angelina Frizzell. Quinn Gaffney. Graduating with medical distinction, Reese Gordon. Jack Greaves. Sebastian Guerrero Olaya. Riley McCain Gwynn. Declan Sean Haynes. Graduating with medical distinction, Barbara Carolina Hanna. Hao Run Hee. Alana Sierra Henderson. Go ahead. Are you freezing? Alexander Michael Heridia. Lily J. Hetrick Ludy. Graduating with entrepreneurial distinction, Maria Eva Hoteo. Sarah Beth Hughes. Owen Gerard James. Graduating with entrepreneurial and artificial intelligence distinction, Justin Jankowski. Graduating with entrepreneurial and medical distinction, Robert Matthew Jerez, Jr. Graduating with entrepreneurial distinction, Benjamin Reed Junkin. Strahania Karchmar. Graduating with entrepreneurial distinction, Addison Jane Kunch. Bea Angelina Layton. Kieng Chung Lei. Graduating with entrepreneurial distinction, Dino Petro Liberi. Hugh Ree Lim. Rangya Lu. Callie Luji. Ilya Lubchek. Kendrick Lezus. Oh, wait, I'm going to do that again. Kendrick Leus Cherubin. Graduating with design distinction, Jane Rebecca Mannion. Graduating with medical distinction, Layla Simone Meadows. Eitan Abraham Moskovich. Bryn Marley Musselman. It is a Perkiomen tradition that faculty members and trustees can present their children, grandchildren with their diplomas. Rowan Philip Nessel. Hien Gyai Gwyn. Gwyn Nak Bao. Gwyn Nak Bao Han. Lei Bao Nak Gwen. Lung Min Tu Gwyn. Charles William Page. Graduating with medical distinction, Alessandra Sofia Pufalo Nito. Ian Perez Rivera. Carmen Pinera. Sophia Polajai. Jean-Gabriel Punt. Antonella Povia. Graduating with entrepreneurial distinction, Ria Guhan Ramahan. Graduating with artificial intelligence distinction, Alessandra Rossini. Gavin J. Rosello. John Tristan Russo. Sebastian Alejandro Sanchez Quitiero. Luke Schaefer. Trevor Stanton Scott. Maizan Kai Shell. Graduating with entrepreneurial distinction, Mikolas Skiva. Graduating with medical distinction, Kayla Jade Smith. Graduating with entrepreneurial distinction, Zachary Michael Smith. Graduating with medical distinction, Paula Sobieska. Alexei Sokolov. Andres Mario Suarez. Reeve David Sisko. Graduating with medical distinction, Xinyi Tong. Graduating with medical distinction, Andrew James Taylor. Milo Dylan Tobin. Graduating with entrepreneurial distinction, Sophia Tsudia. Leo Vanderlely Frederick. Graduating with design distinction, Arina Vasilieva. Graduating with entrepreneurial distinction, Rufus Gray Allenville. Va Win A V. Vladika Vukic. Zhen Weng. Bennett Ray White. Graduating with medical distinction, Zuzana Margarata Robla. Alice Yan. Daoling Zheng. Yiming Zhu.
Can everybody please stand? I present to you the class of 2026.
The closing prayer. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. May God be with you and bless you. May you see your children's children. May you be poor in misfortune, rich in blessings. May you know nothing but happiness from this day forward. Thank you.